Laser is one of the outstanding inventions of the 20th century, and the word laser is an acronym for light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. It is a device used to produce a strong, monochromatic, collimated, and highly coherent beam of light. A coherent beam of optical radiation can be produced by stimulating electronic, ionic, or molecular transition to higher energy levels. When they return to the lower energy levels by stimulated emission, they emit energy. The laser works on the principle of stimulated emission. It is a photonic device which is responsible for the development of a new field called photonics. Laser has a number of applications in everyday life in the field of medicine, industry, agriculture, military, research, communication. The principle of laser was first worked out in 1958 by Charles Towns and Arthur Shallow, and the first device they used was maser, microwave amplification by stimulated emission of radiation. They used a microwave and they amplified it based on the principle of stimulated emission. Later, in 1960, Mayman constructed the first laser. It was a ruby laser, and they used the light amplification. Instead of the microwave, they used the light. And the idea of stimulated emission. It was proposed in 1917 by Albert Einstein. Laser light, like the light from an ordinary light bulb, is emitted when the atoms make a transition from one quantum state to another quantum state. But in a light bulb, the emission is random, both in time and direction. But in laser, they are coordinated so that the emission are at the same time and in the same direction. As a result, the laser light has some properties which makes it superior over the conventionally used current light bulb. The properties are laser light is highly monochromatic. So monochromatic means mono means single, chromatic means it is related with wavelength. So monochromatic is single wavelength. All the photons in the laser light have the same energy, same frequency, and hence the same wavelength. But in ordinary white light, it is a combination of many colors or wavelengths. And laser light is highly directional. That is, the laser light is emitted as a relatively narrow beam in a specific direction. But the ordinary light, it is emitted in many directions away from the source. Laser light is highly coherent. That is, the wavelength of the laser light are in phase in space and time. The ordinary light can be a mixture of many wavelengths. And laser light is intensive. And the light of laser beam is very highly intensive because all the photons in the beam are coherent. And laser light can deposit a lot of energy within a small area. It differs from the traditional light source. Laser is not used for illumination purpose as the other light source is used for this. So the ordinary light has many wavelengths, multidirectional, incoherent, and less intensity. But the laser light is monochromatic, highly directional, strictly coherent, and high intensity.